This episode contains spoilers. If you don't want to be spoiled, please check out the show first and come back after. And also, if you have any feedback or there's a show you want us to talk about, leave a comment or write us an email to team.animejail@gmail.com. And now, have fun with this episode.
Gunbuster. Auf Japanisch.
Gunbuster.
Gunbuster. Auf Japanisch, Topo Nerae, literally translating to aim for the top, is a Studio Gainax OVA. That's original video animation. Directed by Hideaki Anno, written by Hideaki Anno, and alongside Toshio Okada, with music by Kohei Tanaka, and was released in October of 1988 going to July 7th, 1989, with a total of 6 episodes. Hi and welcome to Anime Joe. My name's Jack.
And my name is Leon.
And today we will be talking about Gunbuster. So let's ikimashou!
Let's Ikima show. It's crazy.
Dude, I feel like we're such like a language melting pot, because sometimes I feel like I want to say like los kits, or it's like sometimes I want to say like ikimashou, or just like let's go. And
Yeah, we're just
we're
melting languages together.
we are it's an abomination. It's a Frankenstein's monster of languages in the show. But hey, that's part of my interest. So
Well, where should we start with this
yeah.
anime? I mean, you said you've been spoiled on my score,
I have,
and I have to tell you,
unfortunately, 'cause I'm kind of stupid.
I went for the higher one.
Oh gosh.
So yeah, how do I start this? I would say not the opening scene. You've you've presented this idea to me
Yeah.
without having seen the show.
Yeah.
What did you expect from this anime or OVA?
So, Gunbuster. I think to a lot of anime fans, it needs no introduction due to its fame or infamy. I would say, depending on who you ask, probably fame, just because I'd say it's generally just a very influential work. And I actually have seen a little bit of it, but I never finished it until now. So I kind of knew what to go into. But I will say I had more context this time on the history of its production, and kind of like why it's influential to anime fans and like to otaku and stuff like that. So I kind of knew what to expect, and I think anyone who's seen Evangelion, maybe, but not this, kind of knows what they're gonna get into, because this was kind of the precursor to that much more influential work of Evangelion.
Oh, okay.
But so yeah, I'll just leave it at that. But what did you expect, Leon, after I proposed this idea?
So I wasn't too convinced, but I'm open to try out new stuff, as you know.
Yeah.
And I think, as we've established, I'm not the biggest fan of like mecha or space-themed shows. I mean, I like space in general, but not space anime.
The concept of space.
Yeah, like the concept of stars or like planets and stuff is very interesting, but in anime,
Cosmology.
it's not really my
Not your wheelhouse.
Not my wheelhouse. Interesting. I've never heard that.
Have you heard that one? Yeah, it's just like not your cup of tea, not your type of thing.
And well, after the opening scene, I was convinced this will be a good show, because we had this girl, I mean, we later figure out it's Noriko. I think we'll go with Noriko.
Noriko.
Who's talking about her dad, who's dead.
Yeah, that is the easiest way to say it.
Yeah, and he was a spaceman on some kind of
Yeah.
spaceship, I guess spaceship.
Yeah. Yeah.
And was attacked by some random monster
Yeah. Hmm.
type of thing. I don't know.
Yeah. No. Just to preface the conversation, literally in doing research for this, the monsters in this show are literally never called anything else except for like space monster. Like
Okay.
it's literally never explained further what they are, what is really going on here.
Yeah, well, I have something to say about that in my personal opinion later on.
Okay. I'll look forward to that.
Yeah, I guess I'll just jump into episode 1.
Jump into it. Go ahead,
I
Leon. Hit
mean,
me with it.
last time we've called without recording and where we finished rating the summer openings from 25.
Mm.
I've seen like the first few scenes from episode 1 with the robots working out.
Yeah, yeah, that's
And it
right.
was like, this is a weird concept, but it makes total sense if you know like the background that there are people in there and they
Yeah. Mhm.
obviously need to train how to move in a mecha.
Right, right, right. Yeah.
And I guess I would leave the talking more to you
Yeah, yeah.
because I feel like I could do the entire story in 4 minutes,
So,
maybe less.
honestly, I only wrote down a few points and it may seem like I have some stuff to say, but as far as the story goes, um I don't want to get too much into the production history of this show though I would like to talk about it, but honestly, like I'm I'm just going to come out and say it. You're not watching this show for the story. Um and I would hardly say you're really watching this show for the characters even. Like we're working with 6 episodes here and there's so much stuff crammed in here that it's kind of hard to be attached or like figure out what's going on because they're trying to do so much with like 6 episodes. Um, and so it definitely like just to come out and say it, like that's one of the big issues of this show, and it's not a secret. Like people know this.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the show's paced very jarringly. It doesn't leave much room to breathe. It's kind of just all over the place. But I guess to summarize episode 1, because that's kind of our setup.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Honestly, the only characters you need to know about are Noriko, Kazumi, and Coach Ota.
Is
Um,
who's Kazumi? Is it the blue-haired girl?
yes.
Okay. Oh, I just wrote
Yes.
down Amano because I
Oh, yeah,
couldn't
that's
figure
right.
out her other name.
Yeah, no, I actually had to look up what her name was because I forgot. But yeah, her name is Amano Kazumi, I guess. And yeah, so you have these three. You really just have Noriko, Kazumi, and the coach. Um, and Basically the setup is Noriko is this girl who uh not so um not so confident in herself. She's kind of like an up and coming student, still learning a lot of stuff. Uh and You have Kazumi, who is kind of like the class ace, or like sort of like she's actually really good at like piloting the robots and all this stuff, and like everyone like looks up to her. And then you have the coach, and he's kind of the guy in charge who's like kind of like training these girls. And by the way, it's an Okinawa high school, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
It's like an all girls school in Okinawa where they're like training or whatever. And and yeah, so it's just this school, and everyone looks up to Kazumi. And during the episode 1, Noriko kind of goes through this arc of like, oh, I'm not so confident. And then for some reason, the coach picks her to like go into space, and she's like, "Oh, why'd you pick me? I'm not that good." And then he's like, "You need to train," and she's like, "Okay, I'll train." And then there's like this training montage. Um, and then Noriko beats her bully, who challenges her later. And at the end of the episode, Noriko, Kazumi, and the coach go into space because they are going into like some space federation thing to fight the aliens. Boom. Episode 1 down.
Boom. Yeah, but there's one of the bigger issues for me. You have not only summarized the first episode, you basically gave a blueprint for every episode.
Yes, yes, yes. Please expand on that, Leon.
Uh, So I felt like every episode felt kind of the same because you have this. So the show is centered about Noriko, you know, and every episode you had the scene where Kazumi is talking to the coach and she's like, "You can't let her do this and go into space. She will die.
Yeah,
I will
yeah.
not do anything with her." And then there's some type of bully,
Yep,
either
yep.
the one in the first episode or this Russian girl in the second or so on. And she's like, "I will challenge you to a duel." Not like Yu-Gi-Oh style,
Yeah,
but more
yes. More like
more action
giant robot
style,
style.
giant robot style. Like little kids play with robots style.
Yes, dude, literally yes.
Then they're like, "Oh,
Uh,
I can't do this. Coach, please help me." And he's like, "Oh, you should train." And she's like, "Oh, I have never thought about that." And then she trains and she beats
I've
her
never,
bully.
I've, I have never considered uh
Training.
training and trying to improve. Well, I guess I can give it a shot.
And as transition between these different parts, she's like crying.
Yes. Yep. I think this show is really easy to make fun of.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And don't get me wrong, I do enjoy making fun of it because it's so serious and so dated in a very particular way where it's like the concept is so silly, but it takes itself very seriously. And I do respect that. But definitely watching it now, it's like it's very campy, I guess you could call it. Not sure if you've heard that description before, but it's just very stereotypical in some ways for the 80s. And I think it has charm to it for that reason. Um, but yeah, like some plot points and pacing and stuff like that is definitely very funny. Uh, and you just have a lot of very like stereotypical moments where you have the coach where like he has these glasses, right? And like he'll say something and he's like yelling and he's like, "You have to put in all the effort." And then like the sun will like glare in his glasses and he'll like take off his glasses and he has this scar down his eye, and it's just so stereotypical. And like he has a cane and he's like secretly dying, but I guess we'll get to that later. Um,
Hmm.
uh, but yeah, it's funny to talk about today. But I say all that to say that to me it was charming, like from like a style standpoint and just like how the show feels. Like, um, I was gonna get to this a bit later, but I'll just say that the animation is very amateuristic, but it has a lot of skill and a lot of like personality to me. Like you can see the love put into the animation.
Hmm.
Um, like
Definitely.
it doesn't feel just like a, oh, this is a like a shittily animated anime that no one cared about because uh like idle incidents or something where it's like that truly is just a low quality, low effort production. Whereas like this is like, yes, it's a bit amateurish, but you see the heart, like you see the passion that was
Hmm.
put in that was put into this show. Um, and moving forward with the conversation, I just want to say that for all this show's faults, to me it has a lot of like it gets points in the style for me, and I'll explain more of that later. But if you want to get into maybe episode 2, Leon, maybe you can talk about the Soviet,
The
uh,
Soviet girl
our Soviet red-haired girl.
in a
Which
rad mecha.
does she not have a German name? Question mark. Jung.
It is a German word, but I didn't consider it as a German name.
I see. I mean, it just doesn't sound like that much of a Russian name to me, so I was kind of curious because her name is Jungfreud, but
I
I'm not sure if it's
yeah,
going for
I
that.
don't. I think they're going for a German influence type name, but it's not a German name, you know.
Interesting. So they were just
Mm,
kind of like messing around there.
yeah.
Oh,
Um.
that's funny.
Well, to follow our blueprint kind of thing. Um.
Yes, the
Episode two
blueprint.
started with a bit of backstory of Noriko's dad. they were at the space station and they said you have to train, and Noriko was like, "What? I have to train?" And then
Wait,
they
seriously,
went into
guys?
space, and then Jungfreud decided to challenge them to a duel, and then they fought
Yeah,
and somehow destroyed half the space station. Like not that extreme, but they
yeah.
destroyed some parts of the space station and found a space monster corpse,
Yep.
and then they started crying, and that's basically the episode.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dude, this feels so
Um,
silly.
yeah. Like I will reiterate the point that I said, but I there are parts of this while watching it that I wasn't paying attention, didn't understand, and I don't care to. I'm not here to analyze this show for the story because it's not a very well paced or written story. So I'm not going to
Mhm.
talk about everything that happens. Um,
But we can talk
and
about Smith Torin.
we can. After our Soviet introduction of Jungfreud in episode 2, in episode 3, we meet another side character who is going to shortly die, named Smith Torin, which I think is probably one of the only things that happens in episode 3 that matters. Um,
Yeah. And well, that he somehow disappears. And then I thought he's injured, and then I figured out, oh no, he's dead.
yeah,
I like it wasn't really clear to me what happened to him.
yeah. Like I have to just say this, like, hey, like make fun of me if you'd like to, but like if I'm watching something and I am not really engaged, then I have to just kind of zone out a little bit, and I don't even like remember like what happens to him or like why he like died or something like that. But uh, Noriko basically meets him in episode 3, kind of a basic love thing going on there because she got rejected by Kazumi and had to like form a team with him, and then they like do some chores together, and then he dies in episode 4, and this is like Noriko's moment to kind of be like, oh no, like it's my fault that he died because I messed up in battle, and she kind of gets depressed
Hmm.
for a second, kind of similar to at the beginning where she gets depressed because Kazumi says, hey, why did you pick Noriko for the big robot? Like she's not good enough. And so it's kind of like Leon said. There's a bit of like a blueprint going on here of just like emotional roller coaster with Noriko. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, not much to say there.
But episode 4 had some interesting start because we get to figure out what the goal of the monsters is, and it's to eliminate humanity for
Wow, how
whatever
creative.
reason. Like, there's no reason given. They're just like, oh, these are space monsters.
They're
Their
gonna
only
kill
goal is
us.
to eliminate humanity. It's their only goal in life to eliminate us. Like,
Yeah.
why do you know that?
Yeah, and you know that's just one of those things where, like I said, this is only 6 episodes of content, and they just didn't have time to explain everything. And I'm not saying they're like it, like they're off the hook for that. Like it's still a bit jarring to watch, and it's like it just it's hard to tell this kind of story in 6 episodes. You know,
Yeah.
like you need to have that exposition of um you know, like you need more time to develop these ideas, and to kind of get into this a little bit, like this was a precursor to Evangelion in a lot of ways because yes, Evangelion has a lot of faults, but it basically took a lot of the ideas of this show and made it into a full-length production that actually has time to like develop a story, you know, develop characters, develop all this stuff, but like you just don't have that here. Um, and so there's all these questions of like what are these people doing, why are they here, and so yeah.
But I have to say, I think they could have had more time because personally, I felt like after episode 4, the anime was done. Like
Yeah,
the
yes,
story was told,
definitely.
so they could have just used the last 2 episodes somewhere in between to like build a solid foundation for this final fight and not make 3 final fights in 3 episodes.
Yeah, no, I think you make a really good point there, which is not only did they have a short like time to work with, they only had 6 episodes here, but they didn't use that time very efficiently. Like they could have done more. Even with just 6 episodes, they could have like more well paced this.
Hmm.
And yet it still feels just very disjointed, very um, here and there. Uh, and I will say I did bring this up to you before we watched it, but many scenes, especially in episode 5, are utilized for how shall we say fan service
No,
in
you
a
don't say.
in a very interesting way.
Dude,
Oh
this entire
gosh,
show is 80s fan service.
completely. And it's like in doing a bit of research for this, it's like that's a lot of the history of OVAs was that these productions were made straight for VHS tapes. So basically, like this show was never shown on TV. It was never shown in a theater, like maybe in modern times. But when it was made for a like direct home purchase, and so like they could put like whatever they want on there because like you're just buying it. They don't
Yeah.
have to show it anywhere. And so yeah, OVAs
Uh-huh.
and shows like this are pretty infamous for that kind of
Yeah,
content.
well, I wasn't aware. And I mean, I don't mind fan service,
Yeah.
but this felt just absolutely random.
Yeah, yeah,
Like
uh-huh.
I the first time I thought about it was in the first episode where she was like how do you call that? Jumping rope?
Yeah, yeah, mhm.
Rope jumping? I don't know.
Yeah.
Something like that. How is it called?
Oh, yeah, like jumping rope, I guess you'd say, yeah.
Jumping rope. Okay.
I
Where
hardly ever have to
where
say
you
that.
where you see her like boobs jump up and down as well.
Mhm.
And I was like, this seems like it's the only focus. It's so centered and so focused on.
Yeah.
I was like, okay. And
Which,
then
by the
she's
way,
like, yeah.
um, in doing some research for this, this show was actually one of the first shows to focus its animation on that, or, like, to have, like, well animated, like, female form, shall I say. But it's like, this was one of the first, like, shows that paid attention to that and, like, did it and kind of made that a infamous part of anime now, which is the fan service. Um,
Yeah, but this is so random in this
it is
anime.
pretty
Like,
random.
I
Yeah.
mean, also the bath scene where they're like in the water and
Yeah.
you think like, oh, this is just fan service. They're like use the water to cover, but no, they
Yeah.
just animate through the water
Yeah.
so you can see their entire chest because I don't know. Like it has no
Yeah.
really it doesn't have any how do you say
Significance.
that? Significance to the
Yeah.
story.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. It truly is really it's just really thrown in there. It's really random. You can tell that this was made just by a bunch of people who loved animation and wanted to add all this stuff in there because they're just a bunch of guys.
Who
And
like women, probably.
exactly. And like like I was reading a review today, and some people say that like it adds to the show, or like it makes the show so like it makes it like so unique, and it's like I'm not gonna sit here and say that I don't dislike it, or or I'm not gonna sit here and say that I do dislike it. Rather, I guess.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like it is really random, and like it's I would say, especially in episode 5, it is way too much. Like there are so many scenes where I'm just like, dude, like why just like the beach scene after like the bath scene after like Noriko like in
Yeah.
her room or something like that, and I'm just like, it's too much. Like it is done way too much. And it's to the point of distracting. Um,
Hmm.
and even in episode 6, which we haven't gotten to yet, like in the last like dramatic scene where she has to like rip out the heart of the
Yeah.
Gunbuster, she like just like straight up rips her shirt open, and I'm like, dude, like that's kind of distracting from the final scene. Like I don't know, like call me like perverted for like noticing that, but like to me it was kind of distracting.
I
And
was just so confused from that because she ripped like the rib cage open from the gunbuster. And like to open it, she ripped her shirt off, and I was like, okay, but if you take out the heart, what do you do? Like grab your boob and pull it off, or
yeah, exactly.
what's the next thing that's gonna
Yeah,
happen?
like you obviously didn't have to rip your shirt off, you know. Uh, Again, I'm not the kind of person that just like hates all fan service and thinks it's terrible. But at the same time, I think it needs to be used tastefully.
Hmm.
For me personally, um, and it was just overused here. Like it was just it felt like gratuity for the sake of it. And I think because Evangelion does have moments of this, which like you see from the evolution of from Gunbuster to Evangelion. Like it definitely has moments of fan service, but first of all, Evangelion was aired on TV, so it couldn't show some stuff. And also, I feel like it's just overall, well, let's not count End of Evangelion the movie because there's the infamous scene. But for the show, um, it there definitely wasn't it wasn't used to the level that it was in Gunbuster, which is just I feel like every episode, and I'm just like, dang, bro, like, geez. Uh,
Hmm.
but but yeah, that's enough talk about the fan service. I suppose.
Yeah. Well, I have something to say about episode 5,
Mm.
and want to know if you've noticed the Easter egg in
Oh,
Noriko's room.
yes, it was the Miyazaki reference.
Yeah,
Um,
the My Neighbor Totoro
yeah,
poster on the wall. I was
which
impressed how they got like the license for that.
so to provide some background from my research, um, Miyazaki actually mentored Hideaki Anno,
Mm.
who is the guy who directed the show and also directed Evangelion. And I heard in a story last night he actually let him borrow a moped to get around the area because he was just a young kid who like didn't have anything. And apparently Miyazaki was actually very impressed with Anno's animation uh, and work and stuff like that. And I think Anno actually worked on some of the shows that were in that Easter egg because
I see.
uh, there was Totoro and there was do you know what that other one's called? It's it's
I don't remember.
like like wind or something. Uh, I won't try to look it up right now, but
But so you say Ano is the guy who's like Miyazaki's child he never had. I mean, we've talked about Miyazaki before, and that
yeah.
he's not really proud of his
Oh yeah,
son.
that's right. Yeah, he would rather have had Anno be his son.
Yeah, kind of sounds like it.
A little bit. Um, which I think Anno is actually like 20 years younger than Miyazaki. Um,
So he could be his
but
child.
but it is kind of interesting to see the progression and like sorry, I'm kind of going down a side tangent here. But so you have who's called the godfather of manga, who is Osamu Tezuka, if you've heard of him. He basically he's most famous for making Astro Boy,
Ah,
um,
mhm.
and he's basically like the creator of modern manga as we know it. Um, and he basically mentored Miyazaki, uh, who Miyazaki would go on to mentor Anno, and also I believe uh, Tezuka mentored or at least encouraged Akira Toriyama to make Dragon Ball. Um,
Mhm.
so you kind of have like Tezuka like branching out to all these people who kind of became very famous. And I just think it's interesting to see the like line of succession. Um, but yeah, so that covers the Miyazaki Easter egg that you
Yeah.
pointed out.
Also, do you have some background knowledge about the last episode and why it was in like
Actually, yes,
monochrome?
I do. Yes.
Yes, thank you. I
Okay.
I hoped you would, because
Yeah, I
I have
did.
not looked into that.
Yeah. So basically, to not go into it too much, I've already kind of talked about, Anno and how he went on to make Evangelion and stuff. But the studio we're talking about here is Studio Gainax, which not to get too into their history here, but they're a very influential anime studio for a lot like for the industry. But they've kind of unfortunately gone downhill in this day and age for a lot of reasons. Um, but people who work there would go on to make like Studio Trigger and make shows like Kill la Kill, Gurren Lagann, and stuff like that. Uh, but basically, let's say at this time when they were making Gunbuster and all this stuff, they were still not really established fully. It would be Evangelion, which would end up making them rich and making them kind of into a successful studio. So since Evangelion hadn't come out yet, they were still trying to prove themselves, still not making a whole lot of money off their projects, and so they didn't have the budget to make the last episode in color. And I think there was like they tried to make it like thematic, and they were like, oh yeah, it's supposed to be like a representation of this. Come on, guys, it's because they didn't have any money. They were out of budget, they were out of time. They obviously couldn't keep the their same quality if they used color, so they just had to go black and white. Uh, and That's the impression that I got from my research, is that they just ran out of
Okay,
budget.
I see. I mean, it felt like it, but
Yeah.
I thought maybe there is some kind of uh change in the industry so that you could like produce in monochrome, but it's like another format or something, you know.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
But well, I just have not looked into it because I got tired.
Yeah, I do not blame you. Like I would say my only like the only thing that really ties me to this and lets me give it the score that I did, which I'll talk about that later, is because I'm interested in the history. I'm interested in the production, uh, and how it sort of shaped the industry, and also like I've seen Evangelion, so it's like you can kind of see where that stuff comes from. Which you haven't seen Evangelion yet, right?
Oh,
Yeah, so it's like
and if you say
you're
it
definitely
derives? Wait.
yeah, yeah. You can say
Okay.
derives. It kind of like comes from, yeah.
Okay. That it derives from this, I feel like I don't want to watch it.
Well, I I have to say though, like, well, first of all, Evangelion is just very infamous and famous. I'll I'll just say it right there. Um, but it also does a lot of what this show does, but actually does it better, in my opinion. Um, and so like I would definitely recommend anyone who cares about anime at all to watch Evangelion and also Gunbuster, because Gunbuster is so short, and I feel like you can just watch it like pretty quickly and kind of just like turn your brain off. Um, and Also, so like I really only have one thing to say about the show as far as the story goes, but if you have something else to add, you can, because I just want to talk about one thing.
Okay, so for me, the last thing I want to talk about is do you think that anyone will remember this podcast in 12,000 years?
Yes, dude, the 12,000 year time skip.
Uh-huh.
Um, you
No,
know?
I was so confused. I was like, okay, you could have just said, okay, uh, 50 years later. Then I would say, okay, maybe they remembered someone older, but 12,000 years
Yeah.
made no sense at all. Who would remember two Japanese girls who
Well, come on,
were at a military
they're saving the planet
force?
from
Yeah, but
aliens.
nobody probably no one knows about them.
Mm.
Like they don't have like teams of TV up there filming the entire thing
Yeah.
and broadcasting them
Yeah.
on television.
Yeah. It's definitely not realistic, but it's anime, so I mean, come on, we got that.
Yeah, but I think we've established that I
You're a bit of
like
a
to
realist.
yeah, I like to look into the realistic part.
I respect it.
So
Um,
what do you want to say?
the only thing I want to say else is that there's a lot of other plot elements going on here that I'm not going to even mention because I don't think that's why you watch the show, at least for me, like I said earlier.
You
Um,
watch it for the fan service, right?
hey, some people might appreciate that. Like if that's your thing, hey, go for it, bro.
Go for it. Yeah,
Um,
okay.
and I can't say I'm not gonna sit here and say that I don't like it, but it is a bit jarring. Uh, but it is jarring nonetheless. But the only thing I have to say about the show is that there's one 3-minute segment which is a reason to watch this show, and that is in episode 5. In fact, I would not even recommend you watch episode 6 if you don't care about the plot at all. Up to then, just literally don't watch episode 6. There's literally like a conclusion in episode 5 that is good enough. Um, and yeah, episode 5 basically has the scene where Noriko and Kazumi get in the Gunbuster together and fight. And dude, that segment with the animation and that song playing, I think the song's called "Fly High." Dude, I've been listening to that song. That is such a cool fight scene to me. Um, and it kind of made me realize something about this show. And of course, like doing history or doing some research about this, I kind of like learned. But um, the reason why I like this show is totally different from why I like anime. Most anime. Um, and it's because this show was inspired by things like Star Trek, things like Star Wars, um, and those are shows that I've watched from a young age, well before I watched anime. I was into sci-fi, um, and I know you said that you're not like the biggest like sci-fi fan, but like for someone who is a Star Wars fan from a young age, like seeing fights like that is just so cool. Um, and that is reason enough for me to like be able to enjoy it. But you know that I'm definitely not gonna like say that it doesn't have problems because we've talked about a lot of problems that this show has. But for me, that fight scene in episode 5 is enough to watch this OVA for me. But that's honestly really
Yeah.
all I had to say. I don't think you should even watch episode 6. It's literally not worth your time. Uh,
I totally get you, but I mean I enjoyed Star Trek and Star Wars as a child as well, like a lot. But I've never watched these shows for the fights. I always thought
yeah.
these fights were kind of stupid
Mm,
and uh watched it for like the to see the different worlds and the exploration and yeah.
yeah.
And I think
No, yeah.
this is also in my anime taste pretty deep in there.
Yeah, it's pretty shown in your taste. Yeah, no, like I totally respect that, and that's why I say that I like the reasons why I like this are totally different from why I like most anime, which is, you know, like I watch anime for mostly character stories, for like,
Mhm.
slice of life interactions, like characters doing fun stuff together. Like this show doesn't have that really. Um
Yeah.
And so, in theory, I should rate it pretty low, but at the same time, I am a sci-fi fan at heart, and it's like you do appreciate that from this show because it's made by people who like sci-fi and like make these cool sci-fi sets and like all these cool like detailed panels and all this stuff. And so yeah, like that's why I was able to enjoy it for what I did. But uh, that's it for the plot. I don't need to say anything else about the plot. So we can go into other aspects of the show if you'd like.
Sure. I have to say I've not looked into anything else because it wasn't too important to me.
Yeah, yeah.
I remember you saying the voice actors from Gigi being in here.
Yep, yep. Gigi. Which is really funny
Gigi.
because she's an actual character now and not just a cat.
Yeah, well, she turned from a character into a cat. I think we've established
Yeah,
that
true. Because this was
Kiki's
before.
Delivery Service came after Gunbuster.
That's true. And also, Akira came after Gunbuster. I actually looked at that.
Ooh.
Um, Akira was a year almost after this, or
Okay, so
yeah,
they
a full
probably
year after this.
weren't inspired by Gunbuster because I think back then animation took way longer.
Yeah, and also the manga for Akira had already come out a long time, like a
Ah,
while ago.
okay.
That was already kind of a thing. But but yeah, like voice actors, I actually surprisingly liked the voice actor for the coach. He had a lot of moments where he was like yelling, and I was like, oh, that's kind of a good performance. And of course, I liked no. Once again, the voice actor's name is Noriko, who's playing Noriko, which is kind of funny. You have Noriko Hidaka playing Takaya, which is kind of funny. But I actually have come to like her a lot as a voice actress because she played Akane in uh, Ranma One Half, which I watched the Mappa version,
Hmm.
which she reprises her role as Akane, and I actually like her voice a lot. She's one of my favorite legacy voice actresses, who's like been in the industry for a long time. Um, so I think she did a great job, and I think Rei Sakuma did a great job as Kazumi. Not a whole lot else to say. There's just not that many characters or time in the show
Yeah,
to
there
say.
wasn't really the time to see if I like the voice acting or not.
Yeah,
If it's like, I mean, they were good at crying,
yeah, kind of. I don't
kind of.
know.
Yeah, sometimes I wasn't sure if they're
Some of
laughing or
Noriko's were.
crying or
Yeah, it
just
was a bit.
screaming for some
Yeah,
reason.
100%. Um, and so yeah, that's really it on voice actors. The music was once again by Kohei Tanaka, um, who I've done a little bit of research on, but I just thought the music was, I don't know. So here's my background, because if you've seen Evangelion, at least for me, you know that it has such a great soundtrack, which that was I think Shiro Sagisu, I think his name is, and his soundtrack is just so fitting for that. And while I do think the soundtrack is fitting for Gunbuster, I just don't like it as much as the Evangelion soundtrack, and it's kind of hard to not compare that for me. So it was
Hmm.
just like it wasn't bad. It was just okay for me.
Yeah, I
Um,
agree. It was
yeah.
okay for me too. I listened to the opening and ending once and then started skipping because I was like, okay, this is kind of boring.
Yeah,
The OST, I didn't really notice any OST.
yeah.
The only thing I would kind of count as OST that I noticed is the ad break sound effect. And
Oh yeah.
I'm wondering, you said it came out for VHS?
I
So
think, yeah.
there, why is there an ad break?
I don't know
You
why
know,
there's the
like,
commercial cut. Yeah. Maybe that was just like a staple in anime, so they were like, yeah, we'll just do it. I don't know. Like,
or it's
I'm not
something that
sure.
came on TV like at 1 a.m.
Yeah, yeah. Or like maybe there was a version of it that did air on TV later and they
Mm,
needed that or something. I don't know.
maybe. Yeah, but
Um,
like, I think it's so hilarious. Imagine you sitting in front of the television late at night and you have this normal conversation, and in the middle, out of again,
uh,
imagine you sitting in front of the television at like 11 p.m. Everything is silent, and then out of nowhere comes just Gunbuster.
Gunbuster.
Yeah, this was so hilarious. I really
It
enjoyed
was.
the commercial break.
True. It was surprisingly well animated too. There was like a cool little like flash across the screen,
Yeah.
which I liked. Um, as far as the opening and ending, I actually liked them quite a bit just because they were just very like late 80s, early 90s, like kind of
Yeah.
city pop songs. Which like I kind of just like that kind of music, but like yeah, like I can't say it's anything too crazy. Um, I it's kind of just like I like it and that's it. But I will say, the song that plays during the fight scene that I mentioned, I actually really like that song. Um, I thought it was really upbeat, very fitting for like a fight scene or like a training montage. But yeah, that was a really good song to me.
Hmm. I won't say anything
But
to this.
okay, okay, fair, fair. Um,
So I
but
guess
we've already talked about animation. We've already talked about everything, right?
so there's only one thing to talk about left, and this
No
is
más.
the one thing I've been wondering. On a scale from 0 to 100 in steps of 5, what is your rating for Gunbuster?
Gunbuster or topu nerae, if I can say
Sorry.
it. Uh, which I have to tell you about the origins of that title later, but yeah, Gunbuster. I was telling Leon this. I don't know if he'll put it in the thing because it was before we started like the actual episode properly. But I would say it's one of the more important shows that I've watched. Definitely not one of the best, um, but definitely important to my journey as far as like learning the history of kind of shows that I've seen and like how they're important to the industry, which I do appreciate. Um, but I feel like without that, it's kind of hard to appreciate it. Aside from the sci-fi elements, which I do enjoy like quite a bit. Um, but yeah, I think it's a show with a lot of style, a lot of heart, but not a lot of planning or good development of plot and characters, which is kind of what you need a little bit. Um, and so yes, I think the show does suffer, but it's got a lot of great things to it. And if you like some of the things that we mentioned that are good about it, I would recommend it. And for myself, I think I ended up putting it at a 60 out of 100.
Oh, I see. I thought you went higher, like,
Yeah.
oh,
Well, I
but a 60 is solid.
yeah, it's solid, I would say, because and I think I'm honestly giving it too much credit even at that. Like I think if I rated the show objectively, like what is the show's like value? But of course I don't rate like that. But if I did, then I would say probably it's got to be less than 50 because it just has too many problems and it just doesn't do a lot for me personally. Because like I've established why I watch shows is the characters, the interactions, and there's some of that here, but not really a lot for me. But like for the reasons stated of like what I enjoy, I was able to give it a 60 because I did enjoy parts of it. Um, but I was spoiled on your score, but I'll ask you anyway, Leon. On a scale of 0 to 100 in steps of 5, what do you rate Topu Nerae Gambasta?
I rated it with a 45.
No, no,
Yay!
oh God, no.
No, so I think it can't be better than a 50. So at first, with the opening scene, I was like, okay, this could be a 75 solid start. And then
Yeah.
the bad things happened, which we've talked about throughout the episode, and which were annoying to me the most was this entire crying thing. Every 10 seconds, somebody was crying. It was so
Mm.
annoying. Like,
Yeah.
then also that nothing is explained. I have no idea where the hell stuff comes from.
Yeah.
Like, especially these space monsters. Apparently, Noriko doesn't even have a mother because
Yeah,
only
though
her dad
none of her
matters.
other family has ever mentioned.
Yeah, and also the random nudity. So it's I don't mind fan service, but this was just too random to be.
Yeah, it was too much.
Yeah, it was more a negative. What I think is a plus point for me is that it's just 6 episodes because I couldn't. Like this pacing was just terrible. It was so annoying, and I
uh,
was glad it was over after 6 and not after 12 episodes. So I gave it the 45.
no, honestly, like I think you're really spitting on that because like Like that's one reason why I actually would recommend people to watch the show because it's not that long. Um, and like my recommendation would be watch up to episode 5. If you're really enjoying yourself, watch 6, but you don't even need to watch 6. Um, and like I would just say like if you want kind of a good time as far as like watching sci-fi battles, like you like robots, you like the look of the characters, you like the art style, like I think you can enjoy it up to a certain point. So like I would
Yeah.
recommend it. If it was a 12 episode series this long or with all this stuff in it, I would say no, it's not worth it. But but yeah, if you have that stuff in mind, I would recommend it for that.
But
Have fun with that
this
one.
is it. This is it for this Fortnite's episode. I hope you had fun. Please leave a like, comment, whatever. We want to know if you've seen Gunbuster, if you've liked it, if you agree with us, if you don't. And I don't know what else to say except have a nice rest of your day and see you in a fortnight. Bye bye.
それじゃあ、バイね